Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time for the safety moment today. When we're looking at our health and safety program, it's important to review some of the different tools in our toolbox in order to help us accomplish our jobs in a safe and effective manner. Some of these tools actually help us identify and control risks as they're on sites, and we refer to these as risks and hazard assessments. At GFL, we have four main categories of risk and hazard assessments. They are our JHA, Job Hazard Analysis, JSA, Job Safety Analysis, FLRA, Field Level Risk Assessment, and our LMRA, which is a last-minute risk assessment. It's important to understand some of the differences between these categories so that we can make sure that we're employing the right tool in the right step. So a job hazard analysis is a procedure which helps integrate accepted health and safety principles and practices into a particular task or job operation. It includes the job steps, risks, and controls to mitigate that risk. And this analysis is typically done by looking at the steps which would occur at every site or for every instance of performing that job, and is conducted before arriving at site. A job safety analysis is similar to a JHA, although it does include a couple of extra factors. So it is that same analysis of the job steps. However, it will include site-specific information and environmental information into account. That environmental information may be individuals who are working around that job site, risks to that particular job site, or other items which may come into account, such as weather or soil conditions, which could affect how you perform that job in this particular scenario. It will often include site-specific items such as environmental factors, and may even include such items as evacuation plans or rescue plans for that particular job on that particular site. These are conducted in advance of the job, but they may include a pre-job walkthrough as well. A field level risk assessment is a complete and thorough review of the risks and hazards of a job while taking into account the specific work locations, environment, and surrounding work that is going on. This is conducted on the job site, typically by the staff who are about to perform that job. And it may be conducted just after walking down the job, but it will include those same steps of the job, the risks, and the controls for these risks as well. A last-minute risk assessment is an item which we do many times throughout our day without even realizing. There really is no job that should be completed without some form of risk assessment. And a last-minute risk assessment can be done for any job or task, and can often be done by simply taking a few seconds before those tasks to look it over and go through some of the risks, hazards, and steps, even if it is just inside of your own head. Thinking, for example, if a cup of coffee might be hot before simply picking it up and drinking it whole as an example of a last-minute risk assessment. Looking before setting some tools down in a location might be an example of an LMRA. These are items which we do and encourage you to do throughout the day. However, it is important to bring them back from inside of our heads too deep to a point where we're actually actively thinking about these risks on any job. These are just some of the tools that we employ to manage, mitigate, and identify risks on our job sites. It's important that we use the right one in the right setting, and if we put our efforts towards these and keep safety top of mind, we'll be able to have a happy and safe day out there wherever you are.